Hey, this is Kit Cabello for Hard Lens Media, and we are today here joined with Tommy Tackett. He is one of the hunger protesters who is right now on a current strike. What is essentially the purpose of this press conference and hunger strike?
So this press conference is to give awareness what we've been doing for the last 10 days. For the last 10 days, we've been in hunger strike against the proposed repeal of DACA and TPS and what those programs are. DACA is deferred action for childhood arrivals. It for youth who came here, immigrant youth who came here, it protects them. TPS does the same thing. It's protective. Protective status for Central Americans and Haitians and Guatemalans. So anyway, what DACA and TPS do, they allow youth who came here as immigrants to pursue jobs. It protects them away from deportation. They can pursue education, jobs, livelihoods, and eventually citizenship. Well, those programs are proposed to be repealed by the Trump administration. They're trying to get rid of them. And that would be a devastation to the immigrant community because what we're seeing, a majority of the DACA recipients who are now adults, they came here as children, who are now adults, have never known any other country. They came here as 2 or 3 years old. They have their families here. They've, graduated from the universities and such. They have an established life. And without this, they will not be able to get fair wages, get hired. And they're under the threat of, deportation. Their status here is not protected. So, like I said, a lot of these are young, people who are starting to get into life and are establishing their families, and now they're under threat. So that's what we're doing here.
Now, it's quite clear that this is a huge removal and change, a shift in their livelihood. What has been the general feeling amongst the community and protesters here?
We're all in good spirits, but 10 days without food is a lot on the body. And you start noticing it after 2 or 3 days. There's an intensity of, this has to be done because, I'm just speaking as an ally. I'm just standing here, with the standing with the immigrant community. Majority of the people who are in hunger strike, some of them are not staying. We have a group who are staying at the church, but a good majority, of them are going to work and while being on hunger strike, going to work, and because they have children and jobs and a life. You know what I mean? They can't stay here at the church full time, so they're on hunger strike while still going. So it's like a big there's a lot of martyring going on in people's lives because it's a sacrifice they're taking, because without these programs their life will fall apart.
Now, tomorrow, your organization and fellow protesters are going to deliver a protest or petitions for a congressman. Who was that elected official, and where does that elected official stand in regards to DACA and TPS?
So that Peter Roscom, Congressman Peter Roscom, whose office is here in West Chicago, the reason that he is that we are speaking to him, one thing is because where his office is in West Chicago, which is 51% Hispanic immigrants, is the population here. 20% of his constituents, altogether of his district, are Hispanic immigrants. So, I mean, a good, huge part of the majority of his community. Well, he has voted and agreed with proposed legislation with Trump 100% of the time. Completely. Well, that's a bit concerning because the majority of, when you're like a majority of, or a large minority, I should say, of his constituents are immigrants. So he's not representing his constituents, what he needs to. So what we are doing tomorrow, so a good part of this hunger strike is to create a dialogue with the political powers. That's why that is like our goal is to have somebody in political power to speak out against the proposed repeal of DACA and TPS. Well, we went to on our fourth day of hunger strike, we went to Congressman Roskam's office and protest because we tried to get a meeting with him before and it was just not working out. So we went to his office. Well, his staff did receive us. They were there at the door when we got there. So we all went in and had a meeting with his congressional aide. So we sat down and all the concerns, everybody gave their concerns, what they wanted to talk about, their testimonies, and she listened very attentively, wrote everything down. Well, one of our, there's been 5 demands that were made. 1 is to protect DACA, 2 is to protect TPS, 3 is for Congressman Roskam to support the legislation of Senator Dick Durbin, which is a legislation that would protect dreamers, who are, I didn't explain this yet, dreamers are the recipients of DACA. So to protect, Dick Durbin has a legislation that he's trying to push that would protect the dreamers. So that's one. And then another thing that we're trying to get Peter Roskam to do is to, start working for a progressive immigration reform. You know what I mean? We don't want regressive, where you see a holistic genocide is happening to the immigrant community, holistic to, through legislation. They're slowly, it's genocide. It's, from deportations to, with the repeal of these programs, you're literally taking away the livelihood of people. You are making it where they are not able to work. They are not able to, and these are not, like the people in this presidential administration, if you want to call it. These, they accuse people, criminals, da 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 da. Well, that's just plain racist. It's morally unjust to stand here and to say these things when the immigrant community, well, one thing, the United States was built on immigrants, we all know that, but the immigrant community is the backbone of, that because they are not able to get proper wages and stuff like that, they take the lowest jobs that are on the market because being undocumented, they're not able to obtain, jobs that pay fair wages. So they are, and they are like I said, the backbone of, the economic system of this country. Unfairly, the undocumented immigrants pay into the tax system. They pay, when they buy food and all of that, they pay into the tax system. But they don't get anything back for it. So they're paying into a system that they will not benefit from. Really.
Yeah. I understand completely. Now, one last question in regards to this event. You yourself have been interviewing a lot of the protesters and allies who stand with this hunger strike. Where can our viewers and subscribers find the link to these interviews?
So yeah, there's a Facebook page that is being managed. You can go to the @ symbol at fight for number 4 DACA, DACA. So it's at fight for DACA.
All right. Well, Tommy Tackett, thank you for joining Hard Lens Media. Peace to our viewers.